So we're at the Webslingers store next door. We just got off the SpiderMan ride.
Webslingers.
Webslingers. Give your thoughts, dear.
Well, I was aiming at SpiderMan the entire time, and I didn't hit him once, but I was somehow hitting the bugs on the other side of the screen. That was interesting. I really didn't care for it.
It took me like the first minute just to figure out which webs were mine. They're all color coded.
But they don't tell. They don't really make it clear which color you are.
No, until you look down at the scoreboard, and the scoreboards are color coded.
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, then you know what color you are. The motion movement was terrible.
You don't have to do any specific movement. You just wave your hands around. At one point, I'm just like.
Yeah, my webs were pretty much aimed at the floor the whole time, no matter what I did with my hands. So that was kind of annoying. The people next to us certainly knew what they were doing. We scored 5th over the last hour, and considering how many people were in that line, that would have been an amazing score if Shannon and I had actually played well.
I just sat there for half the time, so I wasn't even trying sometimes.
Yeah, I was just sitting there trying to figure out what color I was, so I would like wait to see what other colors showed up on the screen when I wasn't doing anything to try and figure it out.
Well, it just didn't really seem to matter with aiming and stuff with mine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I aimed at SpiderMan top right screen, and I hit a bug in the bottom left.
Yeah, same.
And it's like, okay.
Even when I figured out how to aim, I couldn't hit what I was aiming for.
I was only aiming for SpiderMan, and I still got a score.
It looks like you pretty much just have, like, the fastest person scores the most points.
Yeah,
so,
if you fling your hands back
for
and
me,
forth,
since I'm a fighter, I should technically be able to move faster than just about anybody in there. So I think if I went back in there, I could actually score very high on that game with no skill whatsoever.
Yeah, just stop
move my hands as quickly as you possibly can, and that's it.
And for
which would technically be a fairly decent workout, but that's about all the ride has going for it.
Well, for part of the ride, there's so many bugs, it doesn't really matter where you aim anyways.
Yeah, that's the part where I would be able to score the most points.
Yeah, you just swing your arms around. Yeah. The ride's, the feeling of moving around, like, it shows you going up and down, but the feeling movement is not there.
Yeah.
So it's like...
basically you go in there and you flail your arms around and that's it.
When you move left to right even, the screen pictures show you moving slower than your movement or the vice versa. It just doesn't, it's not very coordinated.
The overall presentation, interacting with SpiderMan and the stuff in the queue before we actually went on the ride was pretty cool.
Was neat.
I would almost want to go on it again just for that.
Oh, did you want to do the comparison of the bugs?
Yeah, the bugs, the storyline is a basic ripoff of the bugs from Heroes Duty and Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
You basically have the exact same thing going on.
They're replicating and you need to
I thought for SpiderMan that was kind of dumb. I can't believe they couldn't come up with something better than that.
They look almost identical to the
no
bugs.
other Marvel characters at all are in the ride. And I mean, when you're talking about Avengers Campus, that seems like an incredibly missed opportunity.
Hey, they mentioned Mr.
Yeah, they
Stark.
mentioned Mr. Stark, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, overall, I would probably give this ride like 2 out of 10 stars. It's not great. I would consider going on it once every time we take a trip down here.
By yourself.
Just for the experience.
Have fun.
But yeah, really disappointed. Anyway, let's take a quick look around the store, see if we got anything that's worth shooting in here. All this stuff was at the Guardians of the Galaxy store, I think, so there's not really anything new here, with the exception of these interesting glasses. I guess you can buy like your own pair of glasses that you can wear while you're in the ride that give you some cool LED stuff and actually kind of make you look like SpiderMan, so that's kind of cool. And then once again, they've got all this crazy web shooter stuff that I guess allows you to score more points in the game. Which I'm kind of wondering, like, do they make it bad on purpose so that if you buy these products, you can actually be good at it? That's kind of a curious question. I'm wondering if that's what they got going on here. I'm wondering if maybe we were just so inaccurate with our webs to try and convince us to buy the upgrades here in the store. Based on the way that Disney is doing things these days, that honestly would not surprise me at all. Looks like the majority of the stuff they have in here is those little spider things of all sorts of different kinds, but I already covered that in the last store I was in. And they do have a pretty cool Spider-Man action figure up there. But, a photo frame. So, photo frames. I got the old school comic book SpiderMan. And we got a couple of pins down here that I haven't seen yet, but nothing I'm interested in buying. I have to go on that ride. Seems like an incredibly missed opportunity. So, honey, I was thinking, I'm kind of wondering if...
See the cool Spider-Man pin over there?
I did. I just did a quick review of the pins. But anyway...
Cool. Indiana Jones pin over there?
No, I've gone over there.
What?
So I'm kind of thinking, I'm wondering if we're so poorly inaccurate with the web shooting in there so that we're forced to buy one of those little upgrade things if we actually want to do it. I'm wondering if that's an intentional thing.
Even if it was, I would still wouldn't enjoy the ride enough to even consider it, so.
Even if you could like hit a bullseye with your web?
Why? It's a boring ride. There's no excitement to it. I'd rather go to the Toy Story Mania. That was much more fun to play and shoot at stuff. Yeah, way better. They had variety and different fun. Just, I'd much rather shoot stuff out. Even though you're much better at the motion on that ride than me.
Yeah. Yeah, this ride does not hold a candle to the Toy Story Mania ride.
Heck no.
And
I'm gonna go outside.
it's almost essentially the same thing. Okay. So there doesn't seem to be a price on this thing. Maybe I can find one that does have a price on it, because I'm very curious at this point as to what exactly they're charging for one of these upgrades, if you will. Here we go. So here's your upgrades for the Spider-Man ride. $25 or $35 respectively for any of this weird gobbledygook that you want to buy that will somehow let you score more points on this ride. I really hate to say this, but this ride just feels like a massive cash grab, and it looks like people are falling for it. Yeah. Kind of disappointing, but that's my thoughts on the ride, and not a whole lot going on in the store that the Guardians of the Galaxy ride didn't have, so I'm going to call it. Yeah, here's a kid right here that's got like all 3 upgrades. Look at that. Look at his wrist. Got like all 3 upgrades there. Clearly a big Spider-Man fan, but yeah, I mean, if Disney continues to make money off of this sort of thing, then that's what they're going to keep doing. So, yeah, a little disappointing, but not for me. We will move on.